Soul Land Episode 180 Original Novel DouLuo DaLu. Chapter 213. Scorching Hot Purple Pearl. TL by Bagelson. Abruptly seeing a purple-robed person in the wooden house holding a struggling Xiao Wu, the raging fury in Tang San's eyes became ice-cold red light. Die! Suddenly sweeping forward, the 8 spider lances on his back extended. Even though he didn't release any spirit abilities, this moment his speed rose to the peak with his blue-silver emperor right leg bone, directly charging at that purple figure. Not actually using spirit abilities was because Tang San was afraid of hurting Xiao Wu, but the fury in his heart was already at its limit. No matter what, he had to dismember this person who dared touch Xiao Wu. That purple-robed person also reacted very quickly to the noise. At the same time as Tang San thrust forward, his body swiftly twisted like a swimming fish. With just one dodge, he brought Xiao Wu to slip 5 meters away, just evading Tang San's thrust. But who was Tang San? In his extreme anger, his full potential was already roused. The bottom right 8 spider lance heavily whipped the ground, the lowest left stuck into the ground to act as support, making him spin a large circuit in midair, letting him once again reach the purple-robed person without the slightest loss of momentum. The 8 spider lances thrust straight towards the opponent's body. This time, Tang San was using his full strength, as fast as lightning. Even though that purple-robed person was also a spirit master, in such a short time, Tang San basically didn't give him the chance to react. The 8 spider lances were already in front of him. Facing a life-or-death crisis, that purple-robed person did something that left Tang San a bit puzzled. He suddenly pushed, sending Xiao Wu's body away to land on a bed to the side. Himself without enough time to dodge, he suddenly raised his right leg and kicked straight at Tang San's chest, textbook forcing the enemy to save himself first. Unfortunately, even though his reactions were fast, it was still a bit lacking compared to Tang San. That kick seemed like it would force the enemy to guard, and it was moreover a very long leg, but unfortunately, Tang San's 8 spider lances were even longer. How could that leg measure up to 3 meters? Just as at least 4 8 spider lances were about to skewer that purple-robed person's body, Tang San also finally saw his appearance. With this one look at the counterpart, the red in his eyes couldn't help dulling a bit, the attack also slowing by half a beat. Appearing in front of him wasn't any boorish man or ferocious pirate, but rather a well-proportioned woman, one seemingly 27 or 8, extremely beautiful, high nose, big eyes, short purple hair that looked neat and orderly, flourishing with heroic spirit. Right now a pair of beautiful purple eyes were looking at Tang San, filled with shock. Woman? This was Purple Pearl? It was because of these two realizations that Tang San's movements slowed. That Purple Pearl also really was outstanding. Suddenly sensing the opponent's bitterly desperate aura, as the forward attack slowed, she drew on the momentum of the right leg kick to spin a full turn in midair. In the middle of the flip, she shed her robe and threw it at Tang San, using this momentum to retreat. Discovering the opponent was a woman, the grievance in Tang San's heart was immediately alleviated a lot, and didn't keep pursuing her. In a flash, he reached Xiao Wu's side, he pulled her lovely body into his embrace with one hand, throwing out a robe from the 24 moonlit bridges, bundling her up. Xiao Wu's soulless body originally seemed a bit flustered, and abruptly sensing Tang San's aura, she couldn't help uttering a moan, holding tightly to Tang San's waist and refusing to let go, her chest heaving violently. Clearly she had suffered no small shock. Tang San temporarily let off the opponent, but the opponent had no intention of letting him off. As captain of the Purple Pearl pirate fleet, Purple Pearl could also be considered having moved unhindered through this part of the sea for more than a decade. Had she ever been in such a difficult situation? Having almost met her destiny at Tang San's attack, this courageous captain immediately grew furious. Who? You dare act like this in my Purple Pearl pirate group? From Purple Pearl's angle, she could only see Tang San's long blue hair, the hair hiding his face, and Tang San had lowered his head to look at Xiao Wu. Only those barbed, vicious 8 spider lances on his back secretly shocked Captain Purple Pearl. Subconsciously she urged her spirit power, releasing her spirit. Sensing the fright Xiao Wu had endured, Tang San's fury exploded once again. Thinking of his comrades being imprisoned outside, he slowly raised his head, his voice cold, "I've come to kill you. Not just you, I will not leave even a chicken or dog alive among your Purple Pearl pirates." When Purple Pearl saw Tang San raise his head, she also couldn't help staring for a moment. In her eyes Tang San's forehead was rounded, nose straight and jaw square, a handsome face filled with ice-cold killing intent, purple golden light pulsing in a pair of blue eyes. But this aura brimming with killing intent had a somewhat graceful temperament, each movement seemed elegantly casual. Ever since she was born, this was the first time Purple Pearl had seen someone like this. Of course, Purple Pearl's immunity to handsome men was also far stronger than ordinary women. Her sexual orientation originally wasn't ordinary, or she wouldn't have wanted to marry a woman. I want to see just how you'll destroy our Purple Pearl pirates. Get out of here. As she spoke, Purple Pearl retreated explosively, already dodging out of the wooden house. Tang San felt a burst of fright, he was afraid the opponent would take it out on the other Shrek 5 devils. Carrying Xiao Wu, he also couldn't easily use teleportation. Right foot stomping on the ground, he hurriedly chased after. Purple Pearl didn't have any intent of troubling the Shrek 5 devils or Bai Chen Xiang, she stopped at the end of the open space in front of the wooden house. By now, her spirit was already released, her body distorting slightly, her whole person seeming to soften, a deathly still aura filling her eyes, her skin covered with a layer of grey-blue little scales. Serpent. Seeing her physical changes, Tang San's first guessed that her spirit was certainly related to serpents. However, not common serpents, it should be a sea serpent spirit. 2 yellow, 2 purple, 2 black, 6 ideal spirit rings appeared around Purple Pearl. Even though Tang San guessed that this Purple Pearl was a bit older than she seemed on the surface, from her spirit rings and the 68th rank spirit power Ji Xiang mentioned, this woman's strength really was out of the ordinary. But so what? Sea serpents were very poisonous. They were still snakes. Tang San's figure flashed, handing over Xiao Wu to Ning Rongrong, who was still collapsed on the ground, unable to sit up. With a flash, he was already in front of Purple Pearl. Textbook first catching the king to capture thieves. There were several thousand enemies here, and even more 200 spirit masters. Relying on just his own strength, it might not be possible to charge out. As long as he caught Purple Pearl, it would be a lot easier to open a way. In midair, Tang San's blue-silver emperor spirit abruptly burst out. 6 spirit rings practically shot out from within him. Yellow, yellow, purple, black, black, red, the terrifying spirit ring colors made Purple Pearl's heart tremble. The next instant, a circle of white light abruptly burst from Tang San. When confronting the enemy, Tang San would never hold back. As he approached, he released his Death God domain. Ever since gaining some comprehension of the Death God domain under Sword DouLuo's pressure, the might of this domain had also become even greater, mainly reflected in control. Within its range, Tang San was now able to at will focus or scatter the effect of the Death God domain. Now confronting only one opponent, he naturally condensed all his murderous spirit on Purple Pearl. Death God assault instantly erupted. Purple Pearl only felt her whole body abruptly grow cold, an incomparable ice-cold aura breaking into her mind like a sharp dagger, but this power was somehow incorporeal. As her body grew cold, fear welled up involuntarily, and she subconsciously retreated, fighting spirit diminishing. Death God domain's weakening effect instantly appeared, and moreover, along with the might of the Death God domain growing stronger, the ice-cold killing intent also made Purple Pearl's body react a lot slower. Of her original strength, she actually couldn't display more than 70%. Yellow-green light appeared out of nowhere, taking the form of a great net in midair and enveloping the slowed Purple Pearl. Just as Purple Pearl wanted to take advantage of her spirit's special nature to dodge, suddenly, 16 strands of blue-silver emperor rushed out of the ground, turning into a cage and rigidly containing her within. Under the large net, inside the cage, Purple Pearl was shocked to discover that she basically had no way to dodge, and forcibly blocking wasn't her forte. Glittering golden light appeared on Tang San's right arm. After the 2 great restraint abilities contained the opponent, the golden light of the blue-silver overlord spear spread along his arm, directly touching Purple Pearl's ample chest. And by now, the tremendous noise here had attracted large numbers of pirates to converge here. Master, don't! Third brother, don't kill her! 2 voices echoed practically simultaneously, and Tang San's blue-silver overlord spear halted just in the deep ravine between Purple Pearl's breasts, the spear-sharp aura preventing Purple Pearl from even speaking. Indeed, Purple Pearl's strength was indeed quite good. In the Spirit Emperor level she also counted as an expert. However, she had encountered Tang San, a man who dared skip levels to challenge Spirit DouLuo. If it was in the sea, perhaps Purple Pearl could rely on the nature a sea spirit master to contend with Tang San, but here on land, even though their spirit power levels were similar, in strength and combat experience, How could Purple Pearl be Tang San's opponent? Starting from the moment Tang San broke the wall with, her imposing manner was already completely at a disadvantage. And now was even more hopeless. The one shouting master was naturally Zhu Xiang, rushing over with an anxious expression. A strand of blue-silver emperor floated up, twisting around Zhu Xiang. Pulling him over next to him, the light in Tang San's eyes radiated power, sweeping his gaze across the wantonly cursing pirates all around, coldly saying, "Whoever speaks rudely again, or takes one step forward, don't blame me for being impolite." The pirates immediately quieted down, looking at Tang San one by one, their gazes filled with anger. This was still the first time Zhu Xiang had seen Tang San's strength. Seeing Tang San's 6 spirit rings, especially the red one, it was difficult to describe his shock. As far as he knew, even though Purple Pearl wasn't completely overwhelming, she was still strongest on the island. Purple Pearl's real age was 35, clearly a lot older than Tang San, but in just this short order, the powerful Purple Pearl was already broken in the hands of his equally Spirit Emperor-ranked master. Besides worry, Zhu Xiang was also a bit proud. "Master, don't attack, Captain Purple Pearl isn't a bad person," Zhu Xiang anxiously said to Tang San. Tang San gazed at Zhu Xiang, then again looking at his comrades. "These are the comrades I was looking for, she isn't a bad person? Don't tell me you didn't see the circumstances of my friends just now? She, a woman, wants to take a wife? The one she wanted to marry is your master's wife. Third brother, don't attack, he's right, this captain isn't bad." This time the voice didn't come from Zhu Xiang, but rather from the ground, just strenuously sitting up, Ma Hongzhen. Tang San looked somewhat shocked at Ma Hongzhen. Right now Xiao Wu was dully sitting there, besides Ma Hongzhen, the others all seemed to be unconscious. 7 strands of blue-silver emperor stretched out simultaneously, each wrapping around one of the 7, bringing them over to his side. "Fatty, what's going on here?" Tang San looked at the pale and faintly blue Ma Hongzhen, his brows creasing. Through his blue-silver emperor, he could clearly sense that, besides Xiao Wu, each of them was very weak. Ma Hongzhen was a bit better, he could still manage to stay conscious. The 6 weak people all had one thing in common, their bodies were cold as ice. Ma Hongzhen managed to look at Tang San, forcing out. "The captain tied us up outside in order to let the sun shine on us, we have to stand on both feet to leach the cold poison from the heart." Finished saying this, Ma Hongzhen's head fell askew, also unconscious. Tang San couldn't help feeling a burst of doubt, withdrawing the blue-silver overlord spear on his arm. In a low voice he asked Purple Pearl. "You really did it in order to help them?" "Help farts, I'm torturing them. If you have the skill then kill me, go on. Attack. If you don't dare you're a turtle bastard. Come on." Tang San's oppression gone, Purple Pearls couldn't keep from cursing with her belly full of choked-back anger. As a pirate fleet captain, her forceful explosion made the surrounding pirates' expressions look a bit strange. As she spoke, the no longer suppressed Purple Pearl still planned on releasing her spirit abilities to make a fight of it. In terms of appearance, Purple Pearl was definitely second to none on this island, but her explosive temper was also equally second to none. Her subordinates always trembled with fear around her, who dared provoke her. Tang San was also cursed by her like this, only, having heard what Ma Hongzhen had to said, his mood had already cooled down a lot. Having experienced such winds and waves, now being sure his lover and comrades were fine, that wise and far-sighted calm Tang San returned again. The blue-silver overlord spear rose again, that spear-sharp aura forcefully interrupting Purple Pearl's attempts to release her spirit abilities. Of course, Purple Pearl couldn't say anything else. Even though she told Tang San to attack, she still didn't have the courage to actually go up against that spear-sharp blue-silver overlord spear. His ears pure and peaceful, Tang San turned his gaze to the surrounding pirates. "Who can tell me how my comrades ended up here, and what happened next? I'll count to 3, and if nobody answers, I will kill your captain." The ice-cold death god domain spread once again. Of course, this time it wasn't in order to attack, but rather to use the death god domain's overwhelming murderous aura to tell the surrounding pirates that he wasn't joking. Before Tang San could start counting, an aged pirate already stepped forward, eagerly saying, "Don't attack, I know what's going on here." Tang San gazed coldly at him, and this elderly pirate didn't dare be neglectful, recounting what had happened. Originally, after everyone had been knocked flying by the deep-sea demon whale that day, they'd fallen into the ocean far away. Even though the deep-sea demon whale couldn't pursue, they were still knocked unconscious. Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing were also injured. Once they woke up, they'd already been scattered by the sea. Not one of them could swim, but some could fly. Once the relatively healthy Ma Hongzhen woke up, he immediately took to the air and started searching for the others. With great difficulty he found them, and everyone gathered together, managing to stay afloat by taking out some buoyant items. Ma Hongzhen's spirit power was also largely exhausted because of the search. Everyone's condition was severely lacking, and it was Xiao Wu, having eaten the crystal blood dragon ginseng and yearning heartbroken red, whose condition was the best. Time passed day by day, and even though they carried food in their spirit tools, drifting in sea water day after day, being unable to swim but having to wrestle with the waves all day, they basically had no chance to rest, and they also had to look after the injured Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing. Everyone's condition worsened by the day, and they could only hope to run into a fishing boat. Because of the attack that day and losing Tang San, who had the Dragon Abyss boat, they were unable to save themselves. By the 10th day, even with their spirit master physique they couldn't persevere, but they had the misfortune of meeting a spirit beast. A 10,000-year level spirit beast. If it was on land and at full health, even Oscar could rely on the clone mirror image sausage to deal with a 10,000-year spirit beast. But, this was the ocean, and every one of them was so weak. Even though they ultimately managed to cooperate and kill that spirit beast, they were still injured. Not long after, everyone discovered that the 10,000-year spirit beast was venomous, and they were all infected by a kind of special cold poison. Even Ma Hongzhen's phoenix flames couldn't dissolve the cold poison. Oscar's little sausages could only retard its progress, but not remove the poison. Among the 7, only the one they always protected, Xiao Wu, was all right. Just at this extremely critical moment, they met the Purple Pearl. The pirates on the Purple Pearl saved them, and brought them back to Purple Pearl Island. After inspection, these pirates, familiar with the sea, discovered that everyone had a kind of special cold poison. Such a poison couldn't be treated by medicine, but it also wouldn't kill people. That 10,000-year spirit beast they had met was the same as Purple Pearl's spirit, called Sea Viper, but Purple Pearl couldn't detoxify them either. They had to endure under the sun for 3 days and the toxin would automatically break down. Moreover, in these 3 days they couldn't eat anything, only drink a bit of water, then stand up, and the cold poison would be forced into the ground by the sun. This was also why everyone were so weak. Soaking in the sea for so long, and then not being able to eat anything, it would be a wonder if their bodies were well. As for Xiao Wu, because she wasn't poisoned, she recovered very quickly, and Purple Pearl with a somewhat skewed sexual orientation fancied her at first glance. Even though Purple Pearl's natural instincts weren't bad, she still had no immunity to Xiao Wu's beauty, and decided to marry Xiao Wu before the others recovered, and by then the rice would already be cooked. Cooking rice. Tang San shot Purple Pearl a disdainful glance. You have that ability. Purple Pearl wanted to speak up, but the tyrannical aura of the blue-silver overlord spear didn't give her the chance. A tiny cold poison, and it still needs the sun to expel. Tang San snorted disdainfully, stretching a hand into the wishful 100 treasure purse. Under Ji Xiang's astonished gaze, he pulled out a completely reddish gold pearl. Urging his spirit power, infusing it, golden red brilliance immediately flourished, just like a small sun held in his palm. At the same time as he infused the pearl with spirit power, Tang San also withdrew his blue-silver overlord spear. Purple Pearl was just about to start cursing, but suddenly her whole body trembled, limply falling to the ground with a pale face. Enveloped by that golden red light, her eyes were filled with horror. Within that golden red radiance was a particular aura, making Purple Pearl basically unable to even speak. What made her most horrified was that pain seemed to come from the depths of her soul. Tang San shot Purple Pearl a cold glance, then no longer looked at her. Blue-Silver Emperor shifting, he first of all pulled Zhu Zuqing up in front of him. Lightly grabbing her chin, he put the glittering pearl in his hand into Zhu Zuqing's mouth, his voice mixed with spirit power resounding in her ear. Keep it, don't swallow it. Only when Zhu Zuqing closed her little mouth did that terrifying aura disappear, and Purple Pearl heaved an enormous sigh of relief. Just when she was about to start cursing once again, Tang San used one sentence to shut her up. Keep cursing, and not even chickens or dogs will be left alive here. Do you think someone here has the ability to stop me? While speaking, the ice-cold death god domain spread once again, suddenly piercing into Purple Pearl's eyes along with the purple god light in his eyes. This wasn't an attack, it was soul deep terror. The timing Tang San chose was undoubtedly just right. After that feeling of horror just now and her helplessness before Tang San's attacks, Purple Pearl basically had a heartfelt fear towards him. Further adding the soul terror, this moment, this female pirate leader ultimately didn't dare curse. His gaze shifted to the old pirate who spoke just now. Bring out a basin of water. At the same time as he spoke, a blue-silver emperor swung out, taking advantage of the moment Purple Pearl was suppressed by the purple god light to poke her a few times, sealing both her spirit power and also her muting a cup ointment. Purple Pearl now reacted, opening her mouth to curse, but discovered that she was unable to make a sound. This phenomenon overwhelmingly awed the surrounding pirates, and some originally restless spirit masters immediately quieted down. Tang San didn't look at them again, raising his hand to Zhu Zuking's back, gentle mysterious heaven skill infusing into her body. By now, Zhu Zuking's skin already radiated a faint golden-red brilliance, trace after trace of blue-black aura constantly spreading from her body into the surroundings, her pale face also gradually growing rosy. The pearl Tang San took out was precisely the needle he took from the 10-headed ardent yang serpent he met on the Hell Road. He didn't know the characteristics of the poison within his friends, or why not even Fatty's phoenix flame couldn't resist it, but no matter what, this cold poison came from a snake-type spirit beast. With the 10-headed ardent yang serpent's position as overlord of snakes, plus its innate pure yang characteristic, it could still be controlled. Facts also proved Tang San correct. In a while, the cold poison within Zhu Zuking was already expelled, and she weakly opened her eyes. Tang San held his hand by her mouth, and Zhu Zuking spit out the burning pearl, weakly calling out. Third brother. Tang San put a dragon zoisha leaf into Zhu Zuking's mouth. Chew it slowly and swallow. Don't say anything, it's important to rest properly first. Zhu Zuking nodded slightly. With Tang San here, she naturally wouldn't worry about anything. Sitting cross-legged with Tang San's assistance, she slowly chewed the dragon zoisha leaf in her mouth and entered a cultivation state. Tang San naturally had reason to detoxify Zhu Zuking's poison first. Zhu Zuking and Dai Mubai were seriously injured that day, and after so long, their physical conditions were definitely the worst. And Zhu Zuking was also a girl, her physical qualities naturally couldn't compare to Dai Mubai. Therefore, she was the first to be rescued. Next was Dai Mubai, Bai Chen Xiang, Ning Rongrong, Oscar, and Ma Hung Jun. After each time using the 10-headed ardent yang serpent Neodon, Tang San washed it and again infused it with spirit power to expedite its effect, then placed it in his comrades' mouths one by one, helping them expel the cold poison. When all this was finished, Tang San heaved a sigh of relief, and at the same time a layer of cold sweat rose on his back. His comrades' condition was even worse than he expected. The torment they had suffered in these more than 10 days wasn't a bit less than his. If they were really allowed to detoxify the poison under the sun, another 3 days of bitterness, perhaps their vitality would have been permanently injured. Even if they were saved, the progress of their strength in the future might have been substantially hindered. Having dealt with his friends, Tang San drew Xiaowu in front of Purple Pearl. After Purple Pearl's muting a cup ointment was sealed by Tang San, she couldn't curse no matter how she wished to, and her hate for Tang San could be said to have reached an extreme. Seeing him walking over, her eyes immediately shot flames, exerting herself to stand up in the blue-silver prison, forcefully grabbing the blue-silver emperor bars, glowering at Tang San. That elderly pirate said in the distance. Lord Spirit Emperor, your comrades have already been cured, can't you release our captain? We never held any bad intentions towards your comrades, this is just a misunderstanding. Tang San calmly said. Release her? Can you guarantee we won't be torn to shreds by the pirates here? I've just insulted your captain. The elderly pirate was just about to promise, but seeing Tang San's crystal clear and dignified gaze, his half-hearted words immediately came to a stop. For a moment he stood there in a daze. Tang San said. Seeing as you really don't have much hostility, I won't kill your captain. However, the reason we ended up in this state was also because of your Purple Pearl pirate group. You should know, hater, it was because we rode his seed evil that we were harmed, and ended up like this. I'm not worried about telling you that it was hater who brought us to the demon whale territory, rousing the demon whale to attack us. We could still survive in front of that 100,000-year level deep-sea demon whale, let alone your place here. Even though I won't kill your captain, I still won't easily release her. As guarantee for me and my companion's safety, I will prevail upon your captain for these few days. Have your people make a large pot of gruel, and deliver some other food. Don't think of using poison, I have Ji Xiang here. As long as you do as I say, once my friends have recovered, we will leave, and I will naturally release your captain. The old pirate was just about to speak up, but Tang San added. Don't try to haggle with me, you aren't qualified. Unless you don't care about her life. A strand of blue-silver emperor swing out, winding around Purple Pearl. Tearing away the blue-silver prison, Tang San relied on the blue-silver emperor to pull Purple Pearl up next to him. The pirates looked at each other, for the moment there really was no way. They could only do as Tang San said. The old pirate said. We'll do as you say, but please follow your promise, don't harm our captain. Tang San said calmly. At least at present I don't have a reason to kill her, I hope you don't give me one. The blue-silver emperor shifted, and strand after strand snaked underneath everyone sitting. Under Tang San's careful control, he brought everyone back to Purple Pearl's house. Even though one wall of this rather large house was broken, there was enough space for everyone to rest inside. Tang San poked another few of Purple Pearl's acupoints, then put her in a corner. Holding Xiao Wu, he softly caressed her long soft hair, comforting her panicked mood. He secretly heaved a sigh of relief, at least half the crisis had passed. Ji Xian quietly watched from Tang San's side from start to finish. Seeing Tang San use his own strength to awe the entire Purple Pearl pirate fleet single-handedly, in his heart, this master's abilities rose to unprecedented heights. Ji Xiang. Hearing Tang San calling for him, Ji Xiang hastily walked up to Tang San, deferentially saying, Master. There was a gentleness in Tang San's eyes. His gracefulness had reappeared, nothing like the one who had just terrified the group of pirates. I hope you understand my methods. This is the Purple Pearl pirate fleet's place, and I didn't have any choice just now. I know you are very attached to this place. I promise you not to hurt anyone as long as I can help it. Hearing Tang San say so, Ji Xiang clearly felt as if relieved of a burden, forcefully nodding. Master, thank you. Actually, even though Captain Purple Pearl is ill-mannered, she's excellent to people. She frequently brings everyone on the Purple Pearl to help poor fishing villages. I know the hater you mentioned, he relied on bringing a lot of spirit masters to join the pirate gang back then, and his position in the group wasn't low, so he was always very arrogant. Offending you this time was his bad luck. Tang San smiled slightly, saying. It's good as long as you understand. As for this Captain Purple Pearl, I'll let her keep quiet for a few days. I'll see if I want to hear her curse then. Ji Xiang glanced at the indignant but unable to vent Purple Pearl in the corner, and couldn't help showing a smile. Captain Purple Pearl might not have ever suffered a loss like this. Everyone among the pirates have had a taste of her temper, I didn't expect she'd be taught a lesson by Master. The method you used to keep her from speaking, isn't it one of those A-cup ointment sealing methods you mentioned? Tang San nodded, saying. That's right. The human body has a lot of acupoints, there are large ones, small ones, numbing ones, killing ones. Striking different acupoints with different strength will cause special effects. Later I'll draw you a diagram, but keep these in mind first. Even though you can't increase your internal strength due to lacking a spirit ring, you still have to persist in cultivation. Familiarize yourself with the circulation path of the mysterious heaven skill. Yes. Before long, the food Tang San asked for had arrived. Even though he knew they wouldn't dare play any tricks, Tang San still used silver needles to test each of the dishes for poison, then gave it to everyone to eat. One so, you ask, shouldn't Tang San have realized from previous conversations? The author's intent was possibly to make the reader assume she was a man, though that's doubtful, since he used she often enough in the text, but at least it should have been plausible for it to escape Tang San's notice. It's really difficult to get that to work out in translation. She and he are pronounced the same in Chinese, meaning Tang San wouldn't have any way of knowing just from conversation. Tried reflecting that here, though it required some contortionist translations. It ends here. Bye-bye. Soon we'll change everything, just the appearance. Likes, subscribes and comments.